Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the update my 1000 days challenge. This is day 545, so let's get things started. So yeah, first and foremost, you'll notice the equity has went up in terms of my balance wise, and this purely or mainly due to my main trading account that I mentioned. Previously, I closed Bitcoin in terms of short setup, and now I have closed Ethereum in terms of short setup itself. So both were closed in terms of the trailing stop loss profit, and it is what it is over here. So on the other hand, for experimental trade, I did have quite a good day yesterday itself. I went a couple of long setup, and it went in terms of my favor, so I closed in terms of profit. So that's something to bear in mind. So yesterday was quite a volatile and quite a very nice trading day. Unfortunately, today is rather a little bit flat, so I'm not really entering either. Two short setup, which I closed a little bit of one break even, one little bit of a loss. So it is what it is. I'll update after this again. All right, otherwise, if you look in terms of a market structure update, so over here, you do see that the inside bar formation for both S&P 500 and Nasdaq definitely doesn't look to be that bearish, but it's exactly bullish either. So I'll say in terms of indecision happening right over here, you can see that we're actually heavily consolidating over here, which is actually a key support region itself. So the more we actually retest over here, definitely does get weaker. It goes to show that there isn't strong buying pressure to push it out of here. And in fact, there's actually sufficient selling pressure in that sense. So definitely not a good sign. But bear in mind that as long as you can break above it, you will still be tentatively bullish, especially when we have a very sharp drop to it. So the tendency for a sharper bounce does exist in that sense. Same thing for Nasdaq. Let's see how things goes. And then for ASA, I say tentatively a little bit bearish, but like I mentioned, I still stay there as neutral simply because if you look in terms of daily chart itself, you'll see that we are still within this zone itself, nothing to be too much of a concern about. So technically, we are still forming a higher low from this. So yeah, and this is a very sharp drop, but we don't see a further price in terms of drop wise. So yeah, let's see how things goes. And then for KWAP itself, definitely looks to be a little bit more bearish. I didn't want it to retest this zone again. I wanted to stay above the 20 exponential moving average on the daily chart, but seems that it's not taking place. In which case, I do lean towards potential further downside, which I mentioned could be really uncharted territory simply because of the fact that before KWAP wasn't launched, the stocks that exist in KWAP exist before KWAP existed. So it definitely can break below that, and how low it can go is anybody guess. But yeah, let's see how things goes. But definitely in terms of guideline wise, if you look in terms of the top to the bottom itself, I would say anything between a 70 to 90% discount from the bottom high would generally be a good sign of entry. But bearing in mind that I also do understand that there are certain tech stocks that has been permanently impacted from the Chinese government regulation itself. So there's something to always take note as well. Let me just measure from the top to the current level itself is already a negative 66% or 67%-ish. So even if we do drop, like what I mentioned, towards the 70% mark, you're just going to see around $30 region, all the way a 90% drop, you'll see a $10 region itself. So definitely that will be the most drastic kind of scenario, not to say that it's impossible, just like when you see oil previously in futures, while last year we did drop to negative territory for a short period of time. If that does happen, I'll be very keen to buy because that will mean that there will be some sort of panic selling. But you do see over here that we don't exactly have a panic selling just yet. So let's see how price consolidate over here, and then if we have a clear break below, then perhaps you could definitely retest the $30 mark or even the $20 mark region itself. But nothing is for certain because this is definitely the uncharted territory itself. So yeah, is anybody guess in that sense? All right, then for finally Bitcoin itself. So we do see some sort of life coming through, even though yesterday was a strong rejection. I did potentially see some downside momentum, but I didn't actually hold place. So I've actually closed out my short setup in terms of break even and a small loss. So on the shorter time frame itself, I do lean towards looking for potential long. But I'll just have to take a look at to see whether are there any nice price action trade. But if there isn't, then yeah, I would be stepping out waiting for clearer price action before making a decision itself. So definitely clear resistance up there is at 40K region itself, or 40.8K to be precise. But definitely within this region zone, I'll be very keen to look out for a short setup. But until that take place or clear rejection take place from those levels, I'll be staying out of the market in terms of 4-hour price action on Bitcoin itself. So yep, it is what it is. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.